Blessings, quantum family. I'm Jules, and I am so excited about our guest today. I mean, just look at her. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, just know that Fallon is just glowing. She just has such a beautiful light inside of her. And I know that this is going to be a really special time that we spend together in collaboration with everybody that is listening. So, welcome, Fallon. And I'm just going to let you just talk a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go into the fun activation that we have planned.
I'm so excited and I'm so honored to be here. And my cat Archer obviously is very excited to be in your field. And it's just so special because we get to be in your energy doing these activations with you as often as we can. And it's just so magical. I am a coach, I'm a healer, I'm an intuitive guide. And I love helping people receive codes and learning to receive, right? Like a lot of us are struggling or did struggle at some point of what it really means to receive. And that's one of my favorite things that you do at BioQuantum is you teach people how to receive. And, the divine code 964 that you sent through on Christmas, like was literally of a frequency of miracles. And I felt it in my body. And I went back to my family and they were like, were you just on the porch? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, what were you doing? I was like, I was doing my little meditation. They're like, wow, like you look different. I'm like, yeah, it was wild. I went to another place and now I'm back.
I
And I just love sharing that. I love just co-creating magic and co-creating healing. And we do that through these beautiful frequencies that we're able to make together. And that's why I wore my sparkles, because I think sparkles are a high frequency. So
Oh my gosh, I love your sparkles. It's so appropriate for well, I am just so excited because, I randomly just kind of selected which code everybody was going to have, and you were the one that got code 33, which is the master or bioquantum. It's it's a really special code, and, it is the place where we fully embody the intelligence of source, and the body and consciousness become that intelligence. So there's no separation between the body and consciousness and source. It's all one experience. And that is a level of mastery. And that's where we all are going. That is the superhuman experience because that's when we have activated 100% human potential. So when I drew this for you, I just got full body chills and I knew this was going to be an amazing interview. So I'm just so happy that you're here. And we're going to do something really different where I'm going to start the activation and then I'm going to let you take over and bring the activation into an avatar or an identity of the master and let everybody connect into that their own level of mastery in that, and then we'll go into the interview and just bring in some tools and some fun things that people can do to really experience what it is to be a superhuman.
I'm so excited. This
Oh,
is so
me
fun.
too. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm going to just grab the code here. I just want to see, I have my little notes. I want to see if there's anything. So it's the advanced human. It's clearing the law of polarity and bringing everything into one frequency so that good and bad and if you think about the ego, it's always good or bad. I always have this saying, if you're naming something as good or bad, then you're in your programming. So it's
Yeah.
neutralizing that. It's well, I think that's enough. So the avatar that's connected to it is the master or bioquantum. Okay, so if everybody is watching, I'm just going to have you look at the code and just bring the code in through the brain, allowing it to move into the pineal gland. And then if you want to shut your eyes for just a moment, you're just going to feel the code activate the DNA of every cell of your body. And as it's activating, It's activating the bioquantum, 100% human potential. Just feeling as your quantum body fully activates. And then, Fallon, I'm going to let you take over.
I am so present with my pituitary, and with this code of mastery, I'm just going to encourage everyone to imagine there's these little plugs that are coming out and they're going into your heart.
Mhm.
And it's just this sacred chamber of your heart that is never ending, limitless place of potential and love. Just continuing to visualize that connection, that togetherness. Maybe you're experiencing a remembrance of this bold, beautiful light that you are. And this mastery of you being a superhuman, which so perfect that that is the name of this process that we're going to be going through. Just allowing all that connection, togetherness, light to just be receiving this mastery code 33. I think that's the most fun number to say, 33. And I just hope everyone here never forgets how powerful their light is. And all you have to do is receive. And I know for me, I'm going to have some sticky notes of 33 for a while and continue embodying this because it's very magical and powerful. I literally feel like I'm holding like a big ball of light.
Oh, I love that. I love it. So anytime that we create kind of this avatar of the superhuman, which is what code 33 is 100% superhuman, asking yourself as you're listening to the rest of our conversation is, where in my life am I not choosing that? Right. And where can I move beyond the limitations, the false limitations that I'm experiencing, and bring it into this frequency? So the question is, if I was 100% human potential, how would I be living my life? And that's what I want to ask you right now is, what do you do in your life to really step into the superhuman experience?
I think when we're talking about embodying, it's really as simple as just charging your water, charging your food, charging the shirt before I put on it. And it's like, this is giving me superhuman potential. And the first thing I thought when you pulled up that card is I just thought of a banana. And bananas have very powerful, beautiful codes that not a lot of other foods have, let alone fruits. Like they're very special, but you can make anything special, right? And if you're like, I am choosing to activate my highest potential through everything that I am going to come across and experience today, and just being grateful that you have the power to do those types of things. Like you have the power to change the way that water is expressed. You have the power to change how your body can morph and transform into however you want for your highest and best.
I love that. So I hear somebody asking the question of what you do to charge your water specifically.
So I have very active hands. Like my hands are very light filled. And so I'll literally just touch the water and I'll just say thank you for being here. And thank you for your divine perfect protection, which is going to go through every cell in my body as I drink you.
I love that. I'm getting chills, and I don't know where this is coming from, but I just heard that water has a very specific kind of consciousness that's actually similar to the consciousness of our cells. So I'm not sure what that means. Are you picking up on anything there?
I knew this was going to come up today and I'm like so freaking excited right now. I'm going to try and like calm down. Um, I just woke up and was like drawn to turning on the TV. And I was like, why am I watching TV first thing in the morning? But whatever, we'll just go with it. And then I watched Secret of Water on Gaia.
Oh, interesting.
And it was talking about the science of the consciousness of water. And my mind is blown because I'm a mermaid. And like, I don't think anyone could love water more than me. But just water having its own consciousness and wanting to collaborate and heal other water. And like, you don't even actually have to, like, I could literally put this ball in a container of water and it actually not touch the water. Like it's just in another divider and it's still going to pick up the molecules of this, which to me, my rose quartz crystal ball is pure divine love. And my biggest cheerleader and mentor gave it to me. So for me, it's about like perseverance and like believing in myself and like the power of living yourself, living your most authentic superhuman life. So the water molecules within seconds, some scientist puts it under a microscope and they're the most beautiful molecules you've ever seen. I highly recommend watching this documentary. It literally changed my life. I think it's a little over an hour, but there's so much that goes into it. And when you remember that we're mostly water and we need water to survive, the earth, Gaia, she's living and breathing. And there are certain places in the world where her water is so pure and so beautiful and so perfect that she makes it hard, like the water itself makes it hard for people to actually get to those places because you have to be like on the journey of being, a superhuman person who is a healer and only has the highest and best intentions for the earth. This is like crazy.
Crazy. So you know what this is reminding me, and I have totally forgot about this, but so our cells have a mitochondria.
Mm-hmm.
Inside the mitochondria, there is another, it's like almost like a duplicate DNA. And I hope that I'm remembering this correctly. And if I'm not a scientist. I'm not, I'm not trying to teach science right here. What my point to that is that it's surrounded by the purest form of water that there is, and it's in our cells. So there's something there as well, because if our cells, our DNA hold the transcribed frequency of 963. And I just think it's so cool that that is another layer of the DNA that has a purest form of water. And now where we're going, I feel like everybody connect back to that code of the 33 and activate the water of your body right now to hold the mastery level of what it is to be human. And just notice, just by asking that, if you feel a shift in your body, because I did immediately, I could feel a shift.
100%. Yeah. That's the coolest part about being a human is that we're so much water and we're so much of the earth and just this pure infinite intelligence that always wants the highest and best. But if you're not living in a frequency where you're in love and compassion, then like water can literally die. Like your body can, parts of it can die, your cells can die, they can go into stress, which then becomes cancer. And it's just crazy. All of the, when you really look at the human body as this beautiful vessel and how it's connected to everything else that we experience here, it's just, it's like we're always mirroring everything.
And that is, I feel like right there is the paradigm of consciousness of what we're experiencing when we are in that 10%, right? Because we're only observing what is in form. We're sensing, we're sensing it with our touch, we're seeing it with our eyes, and that's only 10% of what is possible. And I love how you said if you're not living in that space of love and gratitude, and not everybody is in a space like that, but I feel like there's a lot of people listening that are starting to, or are ready to, or are there but can't always stay there. So I feel like that's where we should shift now is, okay, so we're charging our water. What's the next step? Like, let's say you start your day and you're in this amazing space, but then things happen, right? And in those moments, being able to tap into that other 90% is the most important time to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's where just movement and energy work comes in. And, if you're really triggered by something, like I immediately choose to be curious, not furious, and
Mm.
letting that curiosity bring you back to your tools, bring your nervous system back to a more regulated state, paying attention to your feet touching the ground. And then you can bring in more of your tools. You just have to catch yourself
I
as soon as
love.
you shift.
So let's go into a couple of the tools that you use. So you just went to the feet that are touching the ground. What are some other tools that you use?
So I'll say I'm curious, not furious about whatever the situation is. And then I'll picture all of that energy being in my body, in my energetic body. And I'll ask for anything that's not on my highest and best to go through my feet and back into Mother Earth to be recycled into pure divine love. And then I'll start doing my breath work. But I think a lot of people, we start doing the breath work, we start doing the tapping, but we didn't let that lower frequency leave yet. And Mother Earth is there to help support us. And if we can just get checked in with her first, then we can do the other things that we know from science that help us get regulated again. But we have to get rid of that energy first and then breathe through it and then tap through it.
I love that. So do you have a specific tapping exercise that you do? Do you want to share it?
So I'll always start here because usually when I get anxious, I feel it in my chest. And then I'll also do my affirmations. And my favorite one is just that I completely love and understand that everything is in divine order. And that's too, I mean, my pendulum's like my favorite energy healing tool right now. Like I'm just like obsessed with her. And so I'll maybe bring her out to help process some things. But if I can just get outside, honestly, like I'm just immediately like, okay, I'm a human. I'm standing on Mother Earth. Father, Son is above me. Like everything's going to be totally okay. Everything's going to be better than okay. Whatever's going on is clearly something that I can work through. Like it's not a big deal.
You know what I hear when you're speaking is just that the ability to trust in something that you can't see. And that is living in the superhuman because that's where the superhuman exists. It's in the space that we cannot see. And what I think is really interesting in that is that, when we can get to that space where we're like, okay, there's clearly more here than what I can see. We do, and that you're saying, okay, I'm going to be curious and not furious. That combination of both of those is enough to actually attune consciousness into that 90%. And when we practice that over and over again, we start to realize that there actually is an intelligence in the space that we cannot see. And there's a lot to be curious about. So I'm curious to hear about what some of the shifts that you have experienced by living your life that way.
So I love that we were talking about like things that you can't see, but when you start focusing on them, things become more visible, right? You get more signs and synchronicities. I can't tell you how many times I would be triggered by something and normally I would like cry or spiral. And now I literally laugh when it happens because I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this is too funny. Immediately getting a sign like you're still exactly where you're supposed to be. Like this was meant to happen. Like, what is the lesson here? How can you transmute this energy? And for me, that's been a big part of my mission and my journey is like me realizing that like I am an alchemist, like I am a transmuter and I can take things that are challenging, difficult, painful, and then I can transmute them into other things that are for love and for a big one that seems to keep coming up for me and like the clients that I'm bringing in recently is literally turning their pain into wealth codes. Like it's just super wild how if we can just be open to the things that we can't see, more actually becomes visible to us. And then just like very weird synchronicity stuff happens where, like I didn't like see a mermaid in my car, but a lot of things happened where it felt like there was literally a mermaid in my car. And then I just have to laugh about, the fact that I left my sunroof open, which has never happened. And my car has never forgot to tell me to close my sunroof. Like just wild stuff happening and just knowing that everything's going to be okay. I mean, I pulled a card. Cards are another thing that I think are really helpful. I pulled a card before we got it on, and the deck is like 200 cards. And of course, I pulled the increased pineal pituitary thymus and the increased awareness card, which is your third eye being the source of light. Could not be more perfect. And I just trust and know that like we were going to have an amazing conversation and like whatever else we do with ourselves today, whether it's just like cuddling with our animals or going out to dinner or spending time with family, like we're going to create and spread magic everywhere we went because we were just continuously tuning in with spirit and knowing that we are co-creating together and we're never alone. And I think that's the biggest thing for me too. And then I work a lot with people. It's just they're realizing they're never alone.
I love that. Okay, let me tap back in because there was something that was coming through. All right, I love that you're bringing magic, and I love that you are talking about the wealth codes because w- this year is an eight, which is abundance. And so I'm curious, would you want to do a little process to bring pain into wealth just for everybody that's listening?
I would love that. And can I just say, I'm so excited for 2024. I already planned out my whole numerology and like everything that was going on for me. Like, I'm so excited. So, um, I would invite everyone, obviously, for driving, don't do this, but like come back to it later. But, um, I would love for everyone to just tune into their body and imagine, just think, is there anywhere in your body that does not feel great? Is there maybe a kink in your neck or your back is sore? Maybe your quads are sore because you had a hard workout. Maybe your toes are tight. Whatever it happens to be. I know I'm sore from working out, so my quads can use a little extra love today. And just tuning into the fact that your body is giving you a very powerful message. And we are so lucky that we have these beautiful vessels that are constantly giving us information. And if it's something that is not impacting us in the way that we want, we can transmute it. And so I want you to imagine this place of discomfort or pain, just putting it together into a little ball, like a little marble. And if you have pain everywhere, we're just going to scan up and down, and we're just going to put all of the energy into a ball. And if your pain is bigger than a marble, it's more like a bowling ball, that's totally fine. But it is hard, it is heavy, and it's causing you pain. And I'm going to invite you to take some deep breaths and just repeat in your mind, love and mastery. Love and mastery. Love and mastery. And knowing that I'm sending you a very powerful code of 33 for love and mastery. And I want you to set this ball down. And we're just going to look at it and be curious. Yet knowing that we're paying attention to our body, and that pain and discomfort we were previously feeling is gone. Anything and everything that is not of our highest and best is now in this ball, no matter how big or small this ball is. And I want you to imagine your favorite toy or tool from when you were little. Maybe, like, I loved Skippo, the little thing that you jump over. And I had a lot of wands. I was really, really into fairies. And so I'm going to imagine this wand that created magic for me in my life. And we're just going to tap this ball, and we're going to tap it 33 times. Mm-hmm. And when 33 is struck, this ball is going to turn into pure gold. So I'll let you go ahead and do that. And now you have this beautiful gold ball. And if you were like, oh my gosh, Fallon, I had a small marble. If I'd known it could be a big gold marble, I would have picked a big one. Make it bigger. Make it as big as you want. And this is pure gold. It is worth millions and millions of dollars. And I want you to think of something you really want in your life that this ball could provide you with if it were turned into this thing or a different currency. And you have permission to receive whatever it is you desire for this ball. And if you want to keep the gold for a rainy day, you can. But this is the perfect time for you to step into your highest and best by claiming exactly what it is you asked the universe for. My ball is going to be my new place in Hawaii, my first case flight, making sure my cat has an amazing person to accompany him in the move, and opening a place for people to come and translate things. That's what I'll be doing with my ball. And invite everyone to stretch. I know when I do this work, I always feel taller and thinner and stronger. It's just good to kind of get back into that body and realize how powerful it is. And it's just a vessel. It's just giving us information. And what we do with that information, we can easily transmute into whatever we want.
That was so fun. Okay, I have to laugh because when you were just like, "Okay, bring one of your favorite toys." I was such a tomboy, and I loved Transformers.
I love that. Oh my God, that's so perfect.
I was tapping the ball, the transformer would, like, change and then change again and change again, and it was just so fun.
I love
I was, like, laughing inside, just remembering how much I mean, I would build these, like, big mud, like, dirt mounds, and I would put them all I mean, I was
Oh, it's
I
so
had a
fun.
brother, so I didn't do it by myself, but, yeah, I just remembered that, and I haven't thought of that in so long. How fun.
Yeah, our divine child and our inner child, like a lot of times that's the missing wealth code for a lot of people.
Mm, so amazing. That was so fun. Now I feel so rich. I feel like, "Oh, what am I gonna go spend my gold on?"
Exactly.
Oh, wow, thank you for that. That was okay, so in that, let's bring you have the wealth code. You have the code of mastery. You have the tools to be curious in your superhuman experience. So, everybody just take a moment and maybe just choose one place in your life that you know that you're choosing lack over your brilliance. And just in this moment choose your brilliance. It's like what would you do differently if that's the way you lived your life? I mean, that's like so often I feel like we get stuck in these limitations because of fear. And that's what I want to talk about next is when you butt up against the fear, right? Of just making that choice to go from limitation to brilliance. What do you do in those moments? Because I feel like this is the perfect way to kind of sum all this up.
Totally. So again, like laughter is so important, right? And so when I do have a fearful thought pop up and I start laughing, because I'm like, this is kind of delusional. I'm like, okay, cool, fear with a capital F. Like, thank you for coming. Like, thank you for keeping me alive. But like, I don't really need you. I got this one on my own. Like, I really treat fear like the little Fallon who was just trying to protect me. But like, you're a child. You're not in the driver's seat. Like, I am in the driver's seat. I am making the decision. And it really just helps take away the stigma of fear, the fear of actual fear itself. But then again, it brings in that divine child. And like for so many of us, that's the missing piece is, like all of the little Fallons, like would be so proud of me for like where I'm at in my life. And that I get to meet with amazing people like Jules and have these conversations because the little Fallons didn't think that this type of life was possible. And when you treat fear like a friend who you just don't need during this exact moment, it just releases a lot of that like shame and guilt that we have about having fear in the first place, especially if we're a healer, especially if we know we have a big mission and we're scared to host the class because we're scared no one's going to come. It's like that's a rational fear, but you can't let that hold you back. Like you have to do the class, like you have to do the damn thing. You just have to.
I love that. I don't know who this is for, but I just heard this, so I'm gonna it was something like if you failed before, right? And then that's what's creating the fear of failing again. The biggest fear is missing out by living your life from that fear to begin with. And that wasn't exactly it, but it was something like that. I hope that I don't even know if that made sense.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. I mean, even just like it popped up for me, like FOMO, right? Like people have a fear of missing out because they don't want to feel like they're missing something. And it's like the only thing you're going to be missing is yourself if you don't decide to do what it is you really want to do. and don't do the things you don't really want to do. That's another conversation we can have, like, just like being in your zone of genius, like being in your superhuman, like being in your authenticity. Those are the keys to being in divine service and wealth.
Mm, yeah. Oh gosh, this is so good. Let me just see. Is there anything else that you feel like we need to say that hasn't been said? You can
I
like
just
feel like another energy trying to
Yeah. Just letting people know, like, you are a gift. Like, you're a gift for being here. And why wouldn't you want to be like the hottest, best gift, right? Like the gifts. I mean, one of my friend's sons, like, I am 10 for 10 of getting him the perfect gift, his favorite gift out of all the people that buy him birthday and Christmas gifts. And like that makes me so happy because he is a gift. And, in this community a lot, we talk about like giving and receiving and like all of that when it relates to like wealth and service. And I think it's just, you are the gift. And I think it's important to remember that.
major chills. Okay, so you are bioquantum. You are the master. You are human. You are the gift.
Mhm.
You are the gift. So how are you going to live your life? If that is true, which it is, how do you live your life? And it's shifting consciousness from identifying in the things that aren't serving you anymore and shifting your focus over to that curiosity and what is possible, because that shift in consciousness alone literally changes everything. It takes us from the 10% to the other 90%. It's exciting.
Yeah. It's like, just be the best you that you can be. You
Absolutely.
know, you're already like the gift and the best. It's just like, how much more can you be in your essence?
Mhm. Absolutely. Well, I hope this is lighting everybody up that is listening to this, and that's just stirred up some like inspiration too, and maybe some motivation to kind of overcome maybe those limitations or the fears that have kind of kept you looping in a place that is ready to, I mean, what better year to do it than now? It's time to step into your brilliance, to bring your gift into the world, because that's what a gift is we gift it, right? We don't hold on to it, we gift it. And that's such a beautiful way of saying it.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Like, this really is the year of abundance. So it's like you can make just one little change and that have a complete rapid transformation in your life overnight. But if you keep holding yourself back, you're going to get more of an abundance of holding yourself back. It's like, this is really your chance to just do one thing that is terrifying, and just you'll immediately be like, wow, this just unlocked so many things. Like, I'm seeing synchronicities everywhere. I'm getting these amazing opportunities. Like, I'm just so clear on who I am and what I want to bring to the world. Like,
It's time. It's
yeah.
time. And I would even recommend, if you do come up against some of those roadblocks, that is a level of pain. And do the golden ball thing again. Bring your little play tools out and just bring that in. It's such an amazing tool. And I think it's so beautiful. So, you have brought so many amazing things through today, Fallon. Thank you so much for bringing your brilliance and your gift to us today.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. This was amazing. It was so fun.
So let us know where people can find you. And then if you did you have something that you were going to offer people as well?
Yes. So you can learn more about me, fallonjordan.com. And then I do have a special gift link that's just for this audience. And it's going to be my whole process of Biz Alchemy. So if you are creating or rebranding or just wanting to grow your spiritual business, I kind of give you my tactical insight. But then, as we know, it's all about energy and the mindset. And I give you a lot of tools, tips, and strategies based on my experiences with energy medicine and then also the world of neuroscience, which is where I come from.
Major chills. It's what a beautiful gift. And thank you so much for that. So definitely check that out. And we will have those links in the show notes as well. Fallon, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I feel ready to go live my superhuman now.
Yay! Me too. I'm so excited. My friend and I are going to dinner. I'm like, girl, we're gonna be magnetic. You better be ready.
I love it. I love it. Well, we are sending everybody that's listening so much love as you step into your superhuman, activating all the codes so that you can truly experience what it is to be bioquantum. Thank you.